Mike, I'm so glad we've connected. I have an opportunity
Again,
for you. Well, yeah, but for you and you
you make
only.
it sound like we haven't connected. I was talking to you yesterday, but now we've connected again.
And this
So
morning. Yeah, I know you're right. But this is different because
this
now
is shock. This is going to be shocking. I can tell because we've connected again. Let's go.
we've connected. Would you like to buy? So I am 43 years young, old. And when I was 16 years old, my mom and dad gave me this cool shrimp ring. Now,
Okay.
I have worn it every day since, except for the few days that I had it missing. But gold is kind of a big deal right now. How much you give me for it? Come on, what you thinking?
Okay. Well, first of
14
all,
karat?
and again, I don't have my little spectacle. I'm not like
Not
really
a
digging
jeweler.
in. I mean, what are we talking? 14 karat, 18
Yes.
karat. Where
No,
are we at
14.
with this, Kristen? I mean, it makes a difference. And frankly, you're like, I have a shrimp ring. Do you want it? Like,
Well, and then
how?
frankly, I have to do this to like sit in here and look, and I just don't have time for that. All of this to say that
Well,
gold,
should I reach over and just grab it and just like bite into it and just be like,
I mean, I'm
okay.
43. I got it when I was
Oh,
16. It's durable. I'll give you that.
well,
Gold
that
is a hot commodity
if
right
it's
now.
durable, then it might not be 18 karat.
No, it's
Gold
not
is
18 karat. I was a
okay.
16-year-old. It's probably like 10 or 14, but gold is a big deal right now. Not because of my shrimp ring, but do you hear about Costco? I know you're a big Costcoer. They have been
Real big,
selling.
and you know what, Kristen, I like deals. I appreciate the business model. It's great. I have opinions about a lot of stuff. But when I go to Costco, it's produce,
Mhm.
meat, family, and then when you walk in, there's like sunscreen and lawn chairs and grills. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with all that. But um,
You know, you can
let's
buy
let's let's
a
keep this
casket
very
there
very
too.
focused on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Speakers,
yeah.
right? Like Bluetooth speakers,
They're great
um,
for electronics.
chairs, sunscreen. I mean, that's the um, you gotta. It's a few steps before I get to the gold department. But tell me about what's going on.
I didn't know they had a gold department. So online, they do.
Well, you're telling me they have a gold department right now, so they
I
have one.
just
Okay.
found out because it's become very popular. So they have been selling 1 ounce gold bars that have been getting snapped up just in hours. What Costco is doing is limiting these 1 ounce gold bars to two per customer. And the CFO
Hmm.
says that they typically sell out within a few hours. I'm sorry. So there's two different brands of gold bars. Rand Refinery gold bars cost $1,950 each for that 1 ounce. And PAMP Swiss bars,
Hmm.
$1,980. Selling out within a matter of
Pretty close.
hours, limiting to two customers per transaction, and there
Hmm.
believe it's all sold online. I looked. I didn't log in with my Costco account to buy any because I don't feel I need that. But clearly, a lot of people do not trust the government in the least to handle anything properly.
Maybe a little bit, but not so much.
I mean,
Well, so what's the question? So you found gold bars? I mean, great, good for you, Kristen. Are
they're
you not
selling.
going to get any?
They're
Yeah.
selling out so fast that clearly there's like a scare of people are afraid and trying to pretend it's the 1800s and collect all the gold bars they can for whatever reason. And I have a feeling it's due to the government being a hot mess and never figuring anything out properly. I could be
Hmm.
wrong, but whatever. For the reason they're doing it, the point is I'm asking you is if someone's feeling that way,
Hmm.
is going to Costco and buying a couple of 1 ounce gold bars worth the value of, hedging your bets that the government's full of idiots? Because we know that.
Yeah. So there's the idiot factor, right? Is what
Yes.
you're saying. Okay. All right. So to dissect all of this really, really quickly, we get a lot of questions about gold, not just gold, silver, not just gold and silver, platinum. So gold, silver, platinum, precious metals, should they be a part of your portfolio? I'll be completely honest. We just talked about this just before doing our podcast, and I maybe I'm living in under a rock somewhere. I don't think I am. Maybe I am, but I did not realize that Costco was selling gold bars. It starts
And
to make
selling
sense, and
out.
it makes and selling out and quickly, and it starts to make sense to me that they would sell out quickly. And then, so where my mind goes in this conversation is all of the advertising that we see on television and even
Mhm,
social media about what's referred to as physical gold. And
mhm.
so that's what Costco is selling, is physical gold, as opposed to being able to trade gold in the market through an ETF, something like GLD or SLV, or which would be silver, something like that. Um, there's a bigger question here too, which is why, and you brought it up, but why are you actually buying physical gold? What is it that you're afraid of? And
That's
I think if
why
you,
I throw out the distrust in government. I believe that is why people are flocking this way because they're nervous about the future.
yeah. So, and I'm sure that's why, Kristen, and it's happening. And if there wasn't a market for physical gold, there wouldn't be, I mean, every other advertisement on a break during, pick a channel, wouldn't be selling you physical gold,
Right.
and there wouldn't be 10 companies on the radio doing it. It's so if you do the math, and my mind always goes to the same thing. Every time I hear an advertisement that sounds, I
Really
don't know, just
exciting?
exciting or too good to be true, or just kind of like, oh man, have you heard the timeshare ones? Right, that's kind of like, I hate to put gold and timeshares in the same, but it's the same kind of marketing. It's, if you're in this situation, then you need to do this and you need to do that because we can save you.
Right.
Right, it's always like they're going to save you from whatever terrible thing might happen, and if they can't save you, then it doesn't cost you anything or something like that. And that's kind of where the kind of a lot of ways where the gold thing is. And but they're just giving away free gold or free silver or something. So back to your question, it makes sense to me. So the people that are really, really concerned about the economy, about not just the economy, but our currency, right? So this gold play, if you want to call that as an investment, is really more based on currency and inflation than it is based on the stock market.
Huh.
And so the idea would be, well, what if the US dollar isn't the dominant currency? What if inflation just goes absolutely crazy and we can't control it? Then historically, owning gold doesn't necessarily have to be physical gold. This is where the argument comes in that I'll bring up later, but doesn't necessarily have to be physical gold. Could be important. So, if I was of the belief that the only way I could protect myself
And your family.
from, and my family, from all of these just terrible things that are likely to happen with our currency and inflation, and I just needed to hold physical gold, and if I could get enough of it, and by the way, gold's heavy. It's not
Well, I
light.
mean, an ounce of it costing that
I
much, it's
know,
got to be.
yeah. So, but it's not light, and I could find a way to put all of it, and the entire world melted down, then I guess I would be the guy who had a safe full of physical gold. And I would probably feel pretty good about myself right up until I got to the point where I'm like, well, now what am I going to do with it? Right.
Well, you
I've
can
got
just,
all this gold.
you can't trot on down to the Piggly Wiggly, grab some milk, eggs, and bread with the gold pieces, can you?
No, but I'd roll in with my bar of gold and I'd be like, I want eggs, some flour, some sugar, some milk. I'm going to go make pancakes, right, for my family.
Let me show you
And I
some
got
raw.
this bar of gold, and I reach in my pocket, and I just be like, and just like flop it on the counter,
Can you imagine?
and yeah, and they would look at me like I was just crazy.
And then the tax,
You
you've
know,
got like a little chisel and you're
I'd
chiseling
look at
off a
them
little bit
like
of the
I was
gold.
crazy because yeah, I would have literally laid on the table something that was like, and then I'd ask for change, and they look at me like.
Do you have change for a gold bar?
Change for a gold bar. Like, what am I going to do? And then so what? I mean, what are you doing in the parking lot? Like, just scraping off slivers to make it. So
Mike, I
I
want to
get
pause you
the.
there because I know
Yeah,
we're making fun because you're a financial advisor, you're a fiduciary, you know the ins and outs of this type of thing. But
I hate the scare tactics. I'm making fun
yes,
because I hate the scare tactics. I
exactly.
understand buying the physical gold and the gold bars,
The human
but
behavior
we
of
got
it, you get it.
yeah, okay. But if we actually get that meltdown and you got
Right.
this safe full of gold bars, number one, I don't want every other fool out there who didn't buy physical gold, and I'm the only smart person in the neighborhood. I don't want any of them to know I've got it because
Mm-hmm.
guess who they're going to come to real
Right.
quick, right? And then second, even if I did have it, what am I going to do with it? And so there's an efficiency to it that we need to address. But I get it. If I was going to buy gold bars, now that I know Costco is offering them,
The
I think that makes a
customer
lot of sense. Like
while available.
bypass the broker. Your pricing is going to be better. This, that, and the other. I mean, that makes all the sense in the world. Does it again? And if it gets that bad, what are you going to do with all this gold? I'm not exactly sure. But if I was going to buy gold bars, I think I would get it from Costco. Now
Because
that I
that's
know
where
that
you
they do
get the
it.
stuff for the family. It makes sense.
Before
But
you get something for the family, I'd be like, listen, I'm going to get some potatoes, some onions,
a couple gold bars.
some, some yeah, yeah, some ground beef, some chicken. You know what? Throw in a couple gold bars just for just that.
Well, I
You
want
know,
to make it clear to
just
our listeners and viewers that we're
I
not
realize you
making
can't do that.
right.
Yeah.
We're not making fun of people that have done this, but we are here, you are here to help them
Mhm.
understand that take a deep breath. There are other ways to accomplish your goals besides gold and physical gold in your hands. No matter what
It
happens
is.
with the government, you know what I mean?
It's it's the principle of it. So I understand the principle of owning precious metals, and I understand the protection of owning precious metals. Um, I think we have to take that a little farther down the road and just say that, well, if it really gets so bad, and I'm not saying it can't, all right, but if it did get so bad that you just, I mean, it was a complete windfall for you and it was really protecting your family that you had just a stack of gold bars and silver and platinum and whatever it is in your safe. You have to ask yourself, great, now what?
Mm-hmm.
Like so it as a currency that's very very difficult. So I think the reality for most people, because by the way, if you buy those gold bars from Costco, and this is the example, um, I don't know this, Kristen. You may look it up. Maybe this is another topic for another podcast. Now you have them. That's great. Who are you going to sell them to?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, because there has to be a transaction on the back end to actually get the value, which is why we joke around about, well, what am I going to do? Walk into a store with a gold bar, right? I mean, it's just so there's a practicality to all of this, and we need to make it make sense for everyone. And so I think that um, I understand why people are concerned. I'm
Of
concerned
course.
about currency. I'm concerned about markets. I'm concerned about government. I'm concerned about everything that's going on. But I
But you're not so
personally
concerned that you're doing things like this.
no. Again, because it's Kristen, I'm a little paranoid. I mean, I don't want to be going to the grocery store with a stack of gold bars in my backpack. I just feel like somebody's gonna, uh,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. I got mugged one time for a watch. You think they're
I
gonna what? I mean,
remember
that's
that.
yeah. I mean, I you don't think if I got like my that backpack looks extra heavy and things aren't going great in the economy, like somebody's not going to beat me up again? It's like I'm not going to take gold bars to a store. But the reality is there's gold, silver, platinum, precious metals can play a very, very important part in your personal economy with your investments, particularly if things get really, really bad. But you don't actually have to own the physical gold. We believe there's better ways to go about it. And we'd be happy to explain that to anybody who's curious.
So we appreciate you watching, listening today, and we would love it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel and wherever you enjoy or listen to this podcast, however you view it on your favorite platform. And we will be back next week. And next time you go to Costco, Mike, ask about this and see what they say. I'm curious to hear the response because you'll probably be there this afternoon, knowing you.
I've been there a lot, and I'm not exactly on a first name basis, but we know each other
Yeah.
and I think they're just going to look at me like I'm crazy. Hey, you got any
Well,
gold bars laying around this place? I'd like to buy them. I mean, it just doesn't. But
so
the
we
online thing,
encourage you, it sounds like, if that's a concern, to seek out a fiduciary and look at the options with ETFs when it comes to precious metals. In the meantime, Mike, if you change your mind, give me a call. I got my ring.
yeah, I don't 10 carats there. I don't know. Let me see. Thank you for watching. Go to guardingyournestegg.com for your free and objective personal financial plan.